Welcome. Hi everyone, I'm Pinar based in Istanbul, and it's really great to be here. It's the first time for me. I'm working with the data since 2013, but before I was also working, but the starting point is 2013. So today I'm going to share with you what we do at home in Istanbul and Turkey, and what kind of problems we have, and how we are really fighting with unstructured data at home. Maybe it would be nice to just share like how Turkey is dealing with accessing information. So I will share with you like accessing information in Turkey, and I will do share like, the condition that we work and some lessons. Maybe it would be good to share with you like who we are. First of all, there's a small data journalism site called the Medya. We are running data stories, and it's the first platform actually in Turkey. So this is the only one calling itself data journalism platform and news organization, but very small. The second platform is actually, it's all connected to each other, data journalism platform for Turkey, and we sharing materials, data sources, informations, and some open source materials. And this one is actually non-profit. It just established this year, and we do some, open data and data literacy project, and it just started. So we are here 8 co-founders, and we have 50 members already. Here is 2 and 3 people, so it's not really big. But for non-profit, we are growing every day in Istanbul, but we are aiming to do, of course, around Turkey. So it will be nice to share some really part of the realistic issues in Turkey. I don't know how many of you know that in Turkey, Wikipedia was blocked almost 1.5 years and more. And there are lots of people really working hard to open it back, but it's not easy really. So it's very basic, things we can't really access. So the site can't be reached at home. Of course, you can have some tools to access, but if you just go to Turkey and access for Wiki, and you can't really get, it's really tough. And other topics, actually every year things is getting worse a little bit, and according to the World Press Freedom Index, and we are really getting low, and it's, decrease all the time. So we are like 157 out of the 180 country. I don't know your condition, but in Istanbul, really in Turkey's press, and it's really under control every day, and it's becoming very routine for us. But it's nice to really showing maybe how it's changing every year. And this is a study from Reporters Without Borders. They did this job with the local media organization, and they showed us how media ownership is changed year by year in Turkey. Especially, I want you to just just check the really red one, red bubbles. You see like how media outlet is high controlled by political issues, and same with control over the media funding as well, and also control over the news agencies. So it's really getting high risk right now. The media pluralism is really changing every year, but not positively actually, negatively all the time. But there are also, you can't really access some information about the censorship. So it's not really easy to get information or get just basic fundamentals topics or news every day. Another negative or reality of us at home, few journalists in jail right now. And this is another report from the Committee to Protect Journalists report. I think you already follow, I don't know who is there any journalists here, but I really needed to share this one. Right now, like maybe more now, but 73 journalists in prison. This is the data, and there are more, of course. Globally, press is really getting worse, but at home, we are really having interesting, again, every day. This news just appeared yesterday. One of the data reporter, she was covering Panama Papers, you know, the leaks about Malta, and so she just found some links with the former prime minister and with his sons, and she just sued by former prime minister, and she's really kind of waiting her life change and everything. So it's really tough being reporter or data journalist, but she's really working tough, and that time she just covered how politics linked with these Panama Papers. So this is another example. We've been blocked. We are just little tiny portal, but we blocked for 3 months without court orders, and still not clear why we blocked. Okay, so I needed to share the previous slides because it should be nice to show how the condition at home in Turkey, but I also would like to share how things is also positive and can really work if you really force the system sometimes. So I will bring you like the work we do, but how Turkey do with open data. Before me, I think someone shared Ukraine portal, like they're really doing amazing, but we have just really started. So there is nothing really we can talk about machine readable portals or open data, etc. But I'm going to share like Turkey, we have no problem for producing data. So we have an e-government, we have portals that are really producing and publishing the information. You can access any information you want, for example, health, transportation, education, anything related with essential data. So we have an e-government. If you are a citizen of Turkey or you're already living in the country, you can access all this information and you can download information, but the problem is you can't really get like open data platform, or you can't really access if you have no registration or something. And also we have a problem with the structured data. So data most of the time is not really structured. What I mean with structure is not machine readable. It's not really like all the time you receive the PDFs or some sort of data formats, but we have no data problem. If you want to report, if you want to search, if you want to access some information for your study, you can reach the data, but you need to work hard to make machine readable. Another thing I just discovered, I didn't know really, because I was working with data a lot, but I didn't know they have an action plan. So Turkey has an action plan, and they're planning to finish in 2019, open data portal for Turkey. We don't have DataGov platform, but we have something like official statistic program, and we already sharing the data, like officially. So Turkish Statistics Institute, they're really sharing a lot of information, but we have just a national action plan and going to have open data portal. I think so, but we are there for following this improvement if there. Okay, so another things I can share. So for example, Turkey trying to do some national strategy for developing statistics. Another thing is like data dissemination system, they do as well. And we signed Open Government Partnership 2011, but unfortunately, last 3 years we just stopped, and we just inactive right now. We are not member anymore, so we don't know why we are not doing this, but we just inactive. One thing is really great about the country, you can get freedom of information requests, you can do, and it's like since 2003, and they have to answer you in 15 days. If not, you can ask, and you have rights to ask and get information. And now I will share a few things that we do at home under all these conditions. But my journey with data journalism or data and open data and data literacy, etc., it started in London. I was there for studying. And that time, I think WikiLeaks leaks came. And that time I had Turkish data, and I really interested in work with data, but I discovered it was not possible because I didn't really understand how to work. So it was like 2008, 7 or 8. So then I started to create my own platform, start to write about data, data journalism, etc. So we start 4 people in 2013, DAG Medya, and we start to organize workshops about data journalism, open data training, data visualization, data analyzing, lots of things local with local examples. Till today, we did 55 workshops around Turkey. Some of them is supported by, some groups, NGOs and tax companies, but some of them were non-profit. So really we wanted to do these workshops for remote places, for build capacity. And only last 2 years we reached 6,000 people, trained journalists, lecturers, students, all around. And finally we get some kind of little, shortlisted award from global editor networks. They just listed us as a data journalism newsroom, small newsroom, and they also put us as a shortlisted open data categories. So it was nice motivation. So we did really massive workshops last 6-7 years at home. Sorry, I'm a bit noisy, I guess. Sorry. So 2013 we started, and 2014 we created data journalism platform. So the second one is we're about producing materials, resources, books, translations. So the 2016 we established one association called Open Data, Data Journalism. There we organize open data and data literacy, MOOC. It was massive open online course for Turkish students, academics, because, there are workshops online, but not Turkish, and the example is not matching with the country's issues. It was really tough time when we did this MOOC, but it was amazing. Too much people really attend this MOOC. So we trained almost 400 people online because they really elected, and then they got, I think, 200 of them, they received the certification because they finished the MOOC successfully. And finally, today we have data literacy session. It contains data journalism, trainings, and open data as well. And it's, as I said, we are 8 co-founders. We have 50 members. And we have already 2 projects we are planning to do next year. One is about media literacy for the women who are not really good at in technology. So we are planning to train them, 500 women around Turkey. The other project is about open data for climate change and biogas and some climate change and emissions issue. So it's 2 project is about actually data-driven project, and we want to really do that. And I think we are planning to ask some officials to come and join us, especially about the climate change and emissions topics. And I hope we can manage this, but this is already planned and already applied for the grant, and we are waiting. I will give 2 projects we did. Okay, this one. In 2014, we had one really massive, tragic accident, and 301 workers killed in Turkey minor workers. That time it was difficult to really find and discover information. Okay, there were, of course, some data set information, but it wasn't available to show how working conditions work in Turkey. So we started to collect data about how workers' condition daily base and how they work. And this database actually showing in Turkey daily basis, like how many people get killed, where they work, how, and their condition. And you can get actually maps, interactive graphics, charts, different type of data sets for everyone use. So the important thing is this is open data license database, so everyone can access and use. And we already asked some NGOs if they want, they can have this project, because we are collecting and uploading every single data here about the workers' condition. So this was one of the projects listed and awarded about open data. It's a tiny newsroom. We work like 6 months collecting data, verifying data, structuring, and putting in the database. It was too long, but finally it worked to do. The one I told, this is the MOOC. 5 modules we produced, and each modules contain 35 topics. It's the one about like thinking like a data journalist, open data, international data, data analyze, you know, and like telling story with the data and working with the data when you're running breaking news, etc. When we finished this MOOC, it took really almost like 6-7 months. But I think, I mean, I can share with you, it's really hard work. If you have no web portal, if you never experienced before, really you need to do some workflow very, very early. Otherwise it's tough, because we didn't know we need to do lots of work, but it took really massive work for us, creating really first-time videos, like 22 videos. There was no web portal for MOOC. We just programmed for these platforms, for the students, online services. But it's really, it went well, but it was hard. It took our 1 year, covered everything. But now, the good thing, this education is open for everyone, whoever want to use. You know, they can reuse and they can put into their curriculums if they want. But we just put it into Gitbook, and there everyone can access. Another, I think, good part about this MOOC, it's local examples. We have like Turkish data sets, Turkish issues, not like American crime states or another country. Local examples with local issues, whatever we have. So this was, I believe, the good part of this MOOC. Not just very local examples, was better for teaching. What we do also for open data, for opening data in Istanbul, Turkey, we do lots of data trainings. But Open Data Day, the one we are really looking to do every year, and we do it every March, as you maybe know. But every time we choose one topic, specific topic. For example, the last we did, it was about animal abuse in Turkey, and plus municipalities, transportations, budget, etc. in Istanbul. So because the Istanbul mayor, they are not opening their data for anyone, really. You can't really access easily. So we just brought young people, tech guys and girls, boys together, show them like how opening data can be really valuable for anything you use in your search or I don't know, writing news or programming something. So every year we choose one topic and making people come together and show them how to work or how to open up data and upload somewhere, making it accessible for someone. So we have really very basic problems, fundamental problems. Still, we really don't know why is data, opening data is important for us. So this is one of the important things to do for us to really make data open and making some ecosystem. Another things I've been doing long years now, you may probably know that. The one is the World Wide Web report. They only published few languages, but I do Turkish all the time. So publishing in Turkey, so showing like how opening data globally, how the leaders keeping their promise. And the other one is the really index. This really works very well for us because you can use it as a data activism tool, because we do local example for Turkey and from the mayor municipalities or the local institutions. So they really enjoy this index. I'm really creating right now local for Istanbul, so local index. It's really good to do if you are same problem, if you have the same condition like we have in Turkey. It's amazing materials. This is our team, Data Literacy Association team, and the members. So the important thing, if you plan to do kind of association, I think is what is important, you should choose people or ask people what kind of background they have. Otherwise, things never get work. Those people have background about data journalism, data visualization, science, data science. So then you have some common issues together and you can really do work together. But if you just accept everyone when you do such an association or non-profit organization, it's really tough. Time could wait for you. It's important to have really common topics. I'm going to end, but before, when we just started data journalism training at Open Data Training in Turkey, it was 2012, I guess. Now, almost 10 or more than 10 universities, they are teaching data journalism and they're also adding open data in their curriculum. So this is really important. But I just checked all these curriculums and asked them to share. I asked them for sharing with me, but they are not really doing practice. They're not showing how data stories do and how you have to work. You know, when you do data journalism or when you do open data or data management, doesn't matter. You need to really show how to collect data, clean your messy data, filter, analyze, make a story. But those universities is not really showing enough. Okay, they are just mentioning how data is important, but no practice enough, I guess. But it's still nice. We saw that how little tiny small newsroom influenced the universities in just 5 years. Now people use our materials and the things we produce. And I'm going to share just few things, like the things I learned, and also my experience to who interested in. If you're planning to do, or if you are a data lecturer, for example, I'm a lecturer at university, and I'm teaching data management, data journalism, open data. But if you have some power about teaching, please just add open data or the importance of the data into your curriculum. This is really important. Well, it's not only for journalism, for any aspect you can add. Another thing, you should choose the right institution or organization or the former guys or ministers people when you do project. Because for the last time, few years ago, we were just doing workshops together. But last year, we invited some officials, and they understood like why it's important opening the data. So that time, we really felt that it's very important to invite some people from mayor or local groups, so then make them to understand why it's important opening this data, what value behind. So another things I think I do a lot. So some media organization in Turkey, they are just asking why is it important having data or accessing, how we can work. So prepare some materials for them if you have a time or if you have a budget, but also help them whenever they want to ask questions or something. So we do a lot. For example, 2 years I've been trained, I think I did train 3 or 4 news organization and their online platform. Really, now I see like interactive maps and some really different data stories they are telling. It's really good. And another important things, I think, resource. Maybe you you have no problem with the language, but in Turkey, really, we still have a problem with materials. You know, we're not great about the language, so we still need some Turkish local examples or tools. So it's really nice to produce data sources, books, I don't know, whatever you are doing. Opening is really first thing to really change awareness. This is what we do at home, and this is, I can see improvement actually. I'm finishing, but before finishing, I think it's important to share this one. It's almost impossible to proceed without free press when you do data journalism. Even the data is available at home. So for Turkey, we do lots of work, but proceeding is not really easy. So free press, you know, it's always staying there. If it's not, so if the wiki is still locked, if the censorship is really rising and still problems staying there. So all we need to do, we are doing now, just for the nations, you know, for future. So we are just doing really data activism all the time, but it's not easy actually. So even data is available. If press is not free, it's not easy to do. So thank you for listening me. Thanks.